Welcome to Geekigai. Today we are going to do something a bit different. So today we are going to talk about toys. And if you guys don't know about it, right, today the $30 Spider-Man toys, right, is as good, right, as the $150 official. All the toy reviewers, right, are going crazy about it, literally. So that's why for me, right, I think it's a very good topic cause, right, it's a very good a topic to talk about. That's why also at the same time I brought quite a few toys today to showcase, and also at the same time to make a podcast about it lah. Yeah. So yes. So over here is actually some of the toys itself. So you guys right can actually have a look. And I mean, Abi himself right, he has been a avid toy collector for many years already.
I know nothing.
Yeah, this guy is a know nothing one, but yeah, I think he's good also cause he is here for a specific reason also. And
For outsider's perspective.
yes, correct.
That's right.
And Nick itself, right? He also been a collector for many years. So I mean,
I'm not a collector.
What are you then?
No, I'm not a collector. Why am I?
What
collector?
are you then?
you have been collecting Gundam. Dude.
Yeah, I've been collecting Gundam, but like that's a bit different.
still a collector.
Yeah.
I just got a building Gundam. At least you can. I thought you were just here to like play with toys or something. That's why we had all like laid out today.
Good point.
I thought that's why you gave me that Miles Morales. Like,
True.
hey guys, it's me, Miles Morales, and I'm the new Spider-Man. Yeah.
But yeah, so basically today we have a few toys today in display. Some of it is the official ones. Some of it right not so official.
Let's get started
Yes.
by having our outsider's perspective, dude.
Correct.
Pick out the one that is official.
At the current moment, I'm assuming the shinier it is, the more official it is. So I'm
be.
looking at the two Iron Mans. Those should be official, right?
The Iron Man's is official. But however,
Both
no, the Nightwing one is not official. The Nightwing one is official.
Oh, look, even he doesn't know.
No, I know. I mean, that's my toy.
Like, isn't
Yeah.
it? Like, if he can't tell which
That's
one's
right.
official and which one isn't.
The Deadpool isn't, the Wolverine isn't, the Spider-Man isn't. Okay, well, except for that Spider-Man, that one is official.
Hey, I'll be honest. Could you pass a Deadpool to me?
What do you think? This is official or it isn't?
I mean, you told me the answer, but let me just take a look.
Toy maker from their own toys. Also.
The arm fell off.
Yeah. This is the perfect example.
Is that the
right,
one from
of
China?
Yes, it is. It's the shittier version.
Uh, the shit. I was about to
So
say I'll be happy to
it's-
get this for birthday, but I take that back.
At least Deadpool. I mean, he can grow back his arm, so like that's
Yeah.
not too bad, right? Like,
Yeah.
It's not too bad.
it's pretty
not too bad.
canon. Like,
Yeah, of course.
but so what about this one?
No, this one is the official one. This
Oh,
is
it's
the
the
Miles Morales Marvel Legends one.
I got him
Yeah.
doing like a Michael Jackson. Ow!
So this is clearly not the official one because I have this figure.
You have it,
I mean, the Mafex version. So I can see some differences.
but what's your thoughts, Ben? Since you have the official version and touching the unofficial one at the moment.
So they're pretty much copied the whole thing, right? So one of the issues with the Mafex one is that people were expecting a bendy claw, because you expect like a physiologically the claws would be bended inside, because when you release them it could be straight. If these were really straight, then they would just wouldn't work out
Oh.
in his forearm and elbow and so on. So they were not expecting this, so they've copied the whole thing. What I realize here is in terms of like balance, like if I compare with that Deadpool, right? So as you said, the Deadpool is one of the older bootlegs. This is one of the newer bootlegs.
Correct. It's
CD
by
toys?
this CD
Yeah.
Toys.
Yeah. So if you notice here, the balance is near perfect. It will just stand on its own. Joints are tight, which is a good thing. One thing I do here, I don't know whether the mic can pick up.
Yeah.
There's a bit of a clickety clackety sound on the joints, which doesn't happen with the Mafex. So that's just because Mafex throwing better material, I think. In terms of posing, I think it's just as good. I think it's able to pose. See, I can do some poses here. Paint job, Mafex is slightly better. Now, what you're saying, you started off that it's like a $120 or $150 versus a $30, $40 piece, right? So potentially you're saying that I can get 3 to 4 of them at the price of one, right? So then I think this particularly is a good deal.
I see.
Especially if you are like in the habit of sort of playing dangerously. Right, you go into like pretty aggressive poses, you put them in water and stuff. Yeah, so then I think this is safer, right? You're not gonna burn $100 over for this. Yeah.
True.
I like how this episode
Fair
is
enough.
becoming like a toy review. Like, just reviewing all these different toys that Casey brought out for us.
Is this
today.
episode not a toy review?
Okay, I mean I'm trying to do something a bit different today because I think that there's never been a toy podcast that we discuss about
Right.
toys. Yeah, and plus I mean it has been making waves recently, especially with this few brands itself, CT Toys, Mass Toys, all this. So I thought that it does actually come into the the entire picture. So yeah, I mean end of the day, right? I mean toys are getting expensive, not gonna lie. So yeah, I mean, I thought that it would be a good podcast episode where we discuss all these kind of topics related to toys, and the longevity of toys itself.
Yeah, this sounds crazy, but I think this might
Yeah.
be the fake one.
No, this
Did
is
you
the
just
real
break
one.
the thing?
I broke.
I touched it.
This is it's actually broken in the first place.
Ah.
That's why it's here in the
Oh,
podcast
no.
studio because it's broken.
So since you brought it up, I think how much do you spend on a monthly basis on Gundams or anything?
On
of this sort?
Gundams?
Yeah, or anything under the banner of ACG. Like it could be comic books, it could be like conventions or
Right,
shows
right.
that you're going. Anything. Yeah.
Mostly under $50, actually, to be honest.
Every
with you.
month.
$50?
Not even every month. Like,
That's good, man.
I mean, cause like I have other things to spend on. Cause like I do photography work, right? So a lot of my money is directed towards my camera gear. So when I do get a chance to spend on Gundam, I'm like quite like cautious with how I spend my money. So I always set a budget for myself. Like, if I can get one or two kits for under $50, then yeah, that's good enough for me.
So how does it play out for a Gundam collector?
For
So
Gundam
yeah.
side,
yeah, because I think they're
I think the Gundam itself is a bit different because I think build and everything is actually different. The bootlegs one, some of them is as good as the original, I would say.
Not
Some of them is just
really,
right, but
like-
of course have to depend on the overall.
I think the bootleg ones tend to be of a lower. I mean, the designs are better. They're much cooler than whatever you see for Gundam, like the official Gundam releases. But none of them can beat the quality of the original Gundam. So like, let's say I buy a bootleg Gundam kit, I will probably need to invest twice the time and energy just to make it look as good as the official one. Because they do a lot of cutting, then
yes.
sanding down. So then it's like, is it really worth it anymore?
And you get flimsy over time. That's the
Yeah, and
issue.
you get the quality is like, yeah, because like these things are like, I think the difference between these two figurines is like, for example, like let's say my Miles Morales and my Zaku 2 here. This is built to last, so the joints won't get loosed out so like easily. If I moved around and post this constantly, like I've had this since 2016, like then yeah, eventually it'll all start to fall apart. Which happens in case of some of my older kits.
Yes, especially the
So-
old kits itself. I
Yeah.
think they have. I mean, the technology isn't as good as the current
Yeah.
kits nowadays. Yeah, but kits and the figurines are a whole new perspective, whole new different do different stuff altogether itself.
But
yeah. Oh my god.
Great. But I have, yeah, you guys have a little cartoon battle down there.
I mean, that's why we want them to do poses, right?
Wait.
Dippo can't stand up though. He can't regenerate his legs.
I can
But right, I just want to ask you this guys question. So
Right.
basically, right, since we are, since you guys have touched the toys already, so would you guys spend like $30, $40, right, or compared to the $100+ over dollars, right, just to buy this kind of kits itself, based on the quality, the craftsmanship, the the design.
Just to be sure, this is the older one, so you're not talking about this.
Yes,
you're talking
yes.
about the Wolverine.
Correct.
Wait,
And
can I feel the Wolverine?
and
Bec-
you can
How's
also
it
because
feel,
these
Sheldon?
two
How does it
broke
feel?
apart when I touched it. And that's
The Iron Man was a special case because the Iron Man is official, but I think because I never posted for a very long time, a bit rough with my handling and the legs kind of broke.
Maybe that's an important thing now. Or like, I guess one thing is like, are the bootlegs more durable? Because I know sometimes it's more durable than the original, like brand. Like when it comes to Transformers, for example. Yo, Chinese Transformers is crazy.
Oh yeah, yes. We had a Chinese Transformer here just to let you guys know. Over there, the Grimlock is actually from China.
Shall I take it out?
Yeah, let's do it.
go get it, please.
This is the usually we don't open this cabinet during the podcast. Okay, we got a.
But they are wild, man. I think they are smoking some kind of weed or something while they are making the Transformers, dude. Yeah.
This is the messiest episode we had so
Yes.
far.
Here's what you would get
Oh my gosh.
if
Okay.
Muhammad Ali.
Yes.
was Iron
I gotta
Man.
remove
Correct.
our Thanos glove. Woo!
It's alright. The Thanos
Come
glove
at me,
is
bro.
durable.
Grimlock.
Yeah, oh, this is
Oh my
crazy.
god.
Hey, the Grimlock is amazing. I mean, the design, the artwork, everything is great. And that's only about $30 to $40 only. Compared,
This is $30 to
That's
$40.
right there.
yeah.
Yo, I thought this was the official thing, man.
No,
Like,
it's
okay.
from China, man. Yeah.
Alright, so as Casey says, we have the official the Chinese Grimlock figurine from
The fake ass Grimlock figurine.
which this was like Transformers 4, right?
Yeah. It was a while back. Yeah, but it
check
was
it.
very dirty cheap. And yeah, it's from China.
So dusty.
Yes.
Okay.
Because I
wait.
didn't bother to go and clean it. And
Oh
yeah,
my
it has been in the Geekigai storage right for a very long time already.
That's right. So
Whoa.
I don't know if you go back to our previous episode, you can actually see.
Yeah, you can see it up there over here in one of the cabinets itself. Yeah, it's actually very
Yeah,
it's very prominent.
Hey,
So
should we just
you-
move that toy every episode like Where's Wally?
But yeah, that one is actually the non-official one, and like I said, details amazing and great also at the same time. It does have I mean, it's very show accurate also compared to the original. So would you guys spend money to get like a figure like that when it's like not as good as the original version itself?
Get out of my universe.
You mean the Grim? What's
Hey,
it called?
Whatever.
I'm Miles
both,
Morales.
both the Wolverine, the Grimlock, and the Spider.
Oh, okay, that's different. Look at the size of the Grimlock. Yeah, it's meant to be displayed, not to be played with. Yeah, sure, that one I understand. Yeah, maybe I'll get it at that price.
I have
This
actu-
one, oh, not sorry, the Wolverine. At least it's sturdy, but it's kind of the squeakiness kind of sucks.
Oh yeah, its squeakiness kind of sucks. Yes, that's true.
But that's about it. If they manage to move that out, yeah,
But if I tell you
think
that
so.
that Wolverine is on the aftermarket $180.
I think
What?
I'll be quite disappointed.
Wait, what did you just say? Like,
Yeah.
the Wolverine's $180?
Yes, in the
Like
aftermarket.
180 Sing dollars?
Correct.
What?
Oh,
That's how the price has increased over the
Oh,
months.
the
of the
actual
years.
one.
Yes, the actual one, the
Okay.
official one. And you can't find it nowadays also because it's out of production and Mafex doesn't wanna reproduce
So
it.
how much did you get this one for
Oh.
then? Like
$20
$20, and now
off
it's like worth.
Shopee. Off Shopee. If you guys, I will put the link down below. I'm just kidding. I'm not
So you
gonna
got this for $20 off Shopee, and now it's worth $180.
The fake one is only $20 only, but the official one is $180.
okay, so I'm
Oh,
not
when
really.
you put it like that, like it seems like a pretty good investment now.
I mean, that kind of depends on your purpose. For me, I'm not interested in this, so I'm not getting it for sure. But let's just assume I want to learn toy photography.
Right.
With everything that Abi said, I'm definitely getting it because since I'm learning something new,
Yeah.
I can buy more
Totally get you, man.
things
Yes.
to practice with, and I'm not too afraid about damaging it. As long as it can make whatever pose I want it to, like it seems like it can.
This is like
Yeah.
I'm playing around right now. This is like very posable. I'm very surprised.
Yes,
Yeah.
it is. And for $20, for
And
$40.
the noise is not, it's not bad. It's what you expect, right?
Yeah.
It's
Oh.
a nice
Some nice rear ratchet
sounds
very
coming out of
satisfying
it. Yeah.
ratchets.
Yeah, it's not irritating. It's actually kind of cool.
And it's die-cast. So
It's
that's
Because it's transforming, right?
Yes,
It's
correct.
not like- yeah.
there are metal parts inside. So yeah, I mean it was a good investment. Has always been a good investment. Yeah, for that itself. I mean the Wolverine. I mean, how about you? I mean for you itself, Abi.
So I think I really like what Sheldon said. Like for example, if you wanna test the limits of your toys, this is a safer thing to do. Second thing, if you're a new collector, you kind of you're not unsure of how much you're gonna spend, whether this is your thing. It's a good way to start. You don't wanna spend several hundreds of dollars, and you kind of figure out this is your thing or not. Seasoned collectors, that's actually an interesting part. Some of us are people who keep their toys only in the display,
Right.
and then there would be like a whole bunch of people in one row, like here for instance. So in that case, I think bootleg is okay because you're having the strength in numbers. But if you having a more tidy shelf like you have here, then I think people are going to individually watch each and every one of them. Then you'd probably want the original thing, if it's affordable, of course. But stuff that you're saying that if it goes up 2-3 times the original value, it was supposed to be sold at 100, now it's 200, then maybe it doesn't got the merit to buy that. Yeah, so it depends. Yeah.
See, he's got a point though. Like, cause some of the original stuff, like let's say when it comes to Transformers, like one like maybe a very small kid like the size of the Wolverine here might cost you like easily $40 now, like 40 Sing dollars. And you're telling me I can like get something like this for the same price, or like anything else similar? Then yeah, I would probably buy to put my house, or like even just to play around with, because it's like quite cool.
Yeah, this is really cool.
Yeah, right.
I mean, my perspective.
What's the brand?
Oh, this one, I can't remember what brand was it. It was like back a few years ago. Before, I think there was this huge crackdown of like Hasbro on all these kind of Chinese companies. So it's before that that issue that happened in China itself. So this one was during that time.
There was a crackdown.
Yeah, there was a crackdown because China has been like ripping off a lot of big brands, Bandai, and at the same time
Yeah, but I
Transformers,
thought
all
China
these-
didn't care a
they
single bit.
don't care, but then as times goes by, it became a apparent issue also, because apparently they are doing better at producing figures compared to the official ones. Because let's be honest, I mean Hasbro, their Transformers suck big time. I'm sorry the guys. I mean, I just look at the Transformers itself, right? It's just not that nice to look at. Yeah, it feels that it's they are not innovating. They are going one step forward.
Has been, bro.
Yes, it has always been. That's why for me, I don't collect Hasbro, because I know it's like one step forward, three steps backwards. So yeah, but yeah, it has been for this situation for a very long time, and as times goes by, like this kind of figure just comes out. Hasbro didn't do like this Grimlock until China started doing this Grimlock itself, and then there was this huge crackdown of like all these kind of fake brands itself in China itself. Yeah.
Does that include that Wolverine over there?
This one not so much, not yet. At this moment of time, okay. I mean it's not I don't know. Could be at this moment of time where we're recording. It hasn't posed an issue yet. I think it will slowly pose an issue as time goes by, but we shall see. Because it's something that I think something that Mafex has to take into account also. Because this is the original is like the brand is called Mafex. So when it comes to this figure itself, I think Mafex has to take a look and see whether want to take any actions.
That's true.
Yeah.
Okay, I have a question to ask that maybe you three can answer. From an outsider's point of view, I'm just thinking this could be good. Look, if that toy gets better and better and closer to the original and sells for $30, it will kind of force... It will serve as competition and force the actual companies to serve even better toys. What do you guys think?
Of course. Yeah.
Definitely, I think definitely it will cause people to get the companies to serve better toys. Because end of the day, right, they have to fight these bootlegs because they are bringing something new into the market.
Yeah.
And at the same time, right, they are not just doing everything original. Just to let you guys know, right now the bootleggers, they are taking the original modes of the toy itself and making their own spin-off things. There is new brand called Mass Toys. I don't know whether we can actually show some images right through the the video itself. They are actually remaking certain of the Rebotech figures and making their own versions of Spider-Mans.
Oh.
Yeah, so there's a black suit Spider-Man, but they took the original sculpt from the original version.
I see.
Yeah.
Okay.
So there's a lot of 10 different Spider-Mans.
10 different Spider-Mans.
Yeah, they are doing Scarlet Spider, Black Suit
Oh, yeah.
Spider-Man,
Oh,
everything.
they are at least following the comics.
Gwen.
Yes.
Yeah.
They're not just coming out with one
No, I think they have.
Spider-Man or something like that.
No, that might be something that they might do in the future. We never know with this kind of brands itself.
I
Yeah.
want my own Spider-Man. Get it for me.
So when it comes to bootleg, personally, unlike let's say medicine and stuff, I guess the intellectual property has very little value, right? The companies are already making so much money from the movies and the comics and such. Of course, it's still a theft, so we can't naturally condone it, but it's I think it's making it very affordable for a lot of collectors, and I don't know, if this is helping out, have this less affordable, making this more affordable for less affluent children. That might be also a good thing to happen, right?
True.
But I'm not sure whether these toys actually end up with children or not. This is more of adults,
Yeah, because I'm
That's
guessing
to play around with.
Right, I'm guessing this is catered more towards adults, because I also don't really see the kids I work with playing. With stuff
Definitely.
like
I mean,
this.
I don't think kids will play with this kind of toys also.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But even if it is adults, if it is more affordable, it's not a luxury spending. It's not an essential spending. So
doesn't that make it luxury then? Like, yeah, like cause it's a luxury one. Like we
I
spend
mean,
like,
discernible spending, but yeah. So it's like this. Like if
Right.
you had a Louis Vuitton bag and
Okay.
you have a fake one, of course it's not going to be as good as the new one,
Okay.
the original one.
right.
But people still use it. Some people still use it, right?
Okay, no, he's got a point there.
Yeah,
I mean,
he's got a
like,
point.
Yeah,
We're talking about the piracy argument.
the priority
It's
argument.
piracy. It's same as the piracy argument.
Yeah, it is.
If you want, you can download any games free online. But because of how friendly Steam is,
Yeah.
everybody actually just buys Steam games. Okay,
Yeah.
here's the thing. Don't sue me. When I was in primary school and secondary school, my parents would not spare me money to buy games.
But he just told me
I
to buy
actually-
toys.
Torrenting's free.
Toy?
Not proud to say, but yeah. But the minute I got my own salary from a part-time job, I was like, okay, I can buy games now.
Yeah.
And I just moved towards Steam.
Actually, it's true. I only started buying
It's similar to what you said about the cheaper toys upgrading into the better toys.
Yeah.
True,
I think
I-
so. Yeah.
I only started buying like all my Gundam and toys only after I got my own money, like for my national service pay. So now like it's like, oh, I have so much money.
You are like adults with kids with adult money.
Oh no.
Yes, correct.
Adult money, yeah.
Is it adults with kids money? That's what makes sense. It's
No,
I
really
think
kids
no, I think it's
with
kids adult
Yes,
money.
correct.
Adult
Kids with
kids
adult
kids money is like what? Like maybe
Mentally
$2.
kids.
Correct.
But with adult money.
Correct, because everyone is selling on nostalgia nowadays.
Yeah,
If
that's
you realize, every of the companies is selling on nostalgia, because they know the kids that have grown up with the toys or with the franchise itself, they are now adults and they have money to spend.
Yeah.
And we are very bad at finances, so
Yeah.
especially like toy collectors, we are very bad at expenses itself. Oh, new figure, okay, sure, $100. Nah, I think it's
Hey,
fine.
did you remember
Can
the
eat
first few
grass.
episodes of Geekigai when we were talking about how to budget?
Yes. I think it's just, as you pointed out, I think it's not just the collecting part, everything is getting expensive. Every aspect of life is more expensive. So I think if it helps your budget and it still keeps you, as you said, like, rekindle your, nostalgia, then
Childhood, like
Makes sense.
I want to get back some of my childhood. That's why everything is all like just how do I call it nostalgia based selling. But yeah, especially in Singapore itself. I mean, I'm not gonna lie. I think as a collector for 10 plus years already, I think that isn't that sustainable anymore.
I
Because
don't- I mean, you got a point. Like, things are just getting more expensive.
yeah,
It's like you really. I mean, like, it's like you either like sell off your current collection or you just have to make a bit more smarter choices when it comes to spending on figurines, like buying secondhand.
Yeah.
Like even for me, like let's say I really like this Quibok figure, but then also I had to think like, okay, what space my house in 5 years time? What if I need to spend that money on something else? More pressing needs. It's tough, man.
I think also how they are marketing it nowadays also. I don't know about you guys, cause I mean for me I've been collecting
Right.
Bandai figures for a very long time.
Okay.
And I think one of the things that they try to do is like they repackage the same figures all over like 10 years. Like maybe like they have this one figure, but because of that, right, like maybe they have like, because I collect Ultraman, so usually it's like okay, you have this Ultraman. Then after that, right, they will have like this 10 years version, anniversary version, which is the same figure, but packaged at a higher pricing. Yeah. So for me itself, it's like I don't really like this kind of deceptive how to say companies where they are just trying to sell their figures, but at a higher price, but for the same they are basically getting the same thing end of the day itself. Yeah. I don't know about other companies itself. I don't think I mean Abi probably has been buying a lot of toys also. Do you actually have all these kind of do you experience this? Because I don't think you collect Bandai also lah. So
Yeah, just a few SHF, right? So, no, I feel like what you're saying is right, and also the other point to add here is, growing up, I was just reading DC and Marvel,
correct.
but nowadays there's so much more content from all over the world.
True.
Like there's Japanese manga, so and for example, I wanted to I saw Spirited Away, so I was I need some Spirited Away collectibles. There's obviously Transformers, as you see here. I don't remember watching a lot of Transformers when I was a kid.
Oh,
I think I got in when the movies came out and there was toys, etc. They were all very cool, but I'm just saying that this whole subculture is much stronger now on Transformers. So yeah, even talking about just not just DC versus Marvel, like there's so much more out there now. Like especially
I think it's more acceptable, right?
yeah,
I do
even
think.
now, like the Wukong,
Yes.
the whole game verse sort of
The
thing.
game verse, yeah.
Yeah, so all of that is new. So there's so much more to collect. So and it's like more priorities to chase if you are into chasing.
I was just with Casey when we went to AFA Singapore and I saw the booth selling the Wukong stuff. It at least seems like the stuff was made with passion. And it was
That's
pretty
good.
detailed.
Yeah.
That's why it's cost $50. Yeah. If it's not with passion, it's probably like $10 only. But yeah, I mean,
If something is bootleg but you can feel the passion behind it, I will be quite inclined to get it.
yeah, like
Buy from a fellow fan,
yeah, true.
rather
That's
than
a good point.
faceless
That's a good
corporation.
Okay, fair enough.
I mean, I think that's why I think one of the reasons why I also brought this Wolverine and this Spider-Man over here is that I can see that despite it being a bootleg, I can see that it tries as much as possible, to sort of like be itself also it's a bootleg and stuff like that. As I know they are copying from stuff, but they try to make it as good as the original, not as those kind of like flimsy plastic like this one over here. It's just just a copy and paste, but they don't the joints are like flimsy. Anything I just basic, it just it's not stable. It's just cheap.
This is stable.
Yeah. The
also pretty
feel,
good.
everything,
Yeah,
right?
I
That's
think-
the official one. That's the Iron Man official.
that's an official.
Yes, correct.
This figure's quite solidly built as well.
Yes. I mean, it's from Bandai. They had to, make sure that their figure is of a certain quality also. But yeah, I mean, then I think, shall we go to our next question?
Yeah, for sure.
Okay, so I think our next question, right, are bootleg makers, right, targeting the gaps, left by official brands itself?
This one, I think I wasn't aware. I used to think that bootleg essentially means that they would just mimic what the original stuff is out there. But if they're going into this space that they're actually making toys that they do not exist in the first place, then that's really cool. And I would say it's really cool. I wasn't aware.
I don't think that really makes it bootleg anymore, does it?
Yeah.
Because the whole idea of bootleg means
It's breaking fresh ground.
right, bootleg means it's like a copy. of
Copying the
something.
original, right?
Yeah, copying
And trying
the
to trick
original.
people into thinking that's the original.
So let's say they haven't made something like an aircraft carrier transformer yet, but it's an aircraft carrier transforming robot, then yeah, it's its own thing.
That would be really cool.
I'm pretty sure someone's done it.
Yeah, I think the key difference here is that they're not paying any royalty
Yeah.
to the original IP holder. So in this case, they're not paying Time Warner or DC Comics, etc. So
Yeah, but then if you hear stories like what Casey said about Bandai, you kind of feel less empathetic for them.
So it seems
mean,
like it's a very gray
yeah.
area.
Yeah.
It's a very gray area. Yeah. But that's the funny thing though. I don't know if you guys heard about this also. Since we are on the topic of copying other brands itself. Apparently, these CT toys, right? Those kind of bootleg companies are also trying to copy these CT toys also. So they are copying the bootleg, and then the bootleg is trying to copy the bootleg also. And they had to put a notice up to tell them, hey, how to spot which one is ours and which one is not ours.
Wait, so it's a bootleg of a bootleg?
Correct. A bootleg of a bootleg itself.
What does that
And
make
that's
it
the
like?
most interesting part. Yeah, that's why I think that it's so dumb nowadays. Obviously you are copying from someone, but if you've done it so well that other people is trying to copy your own brand itself. So yeah,
Hey, that's a flex.
Wait, so what is that? That's like bootleg squared or something.
yes, correct. It's bootleg squared. Yeah, I mean if you have to put a notice out, right, that's the most funniest thing I ever heard in my life. They have an official account. That's okay. How do I spot which one is CT toys and which one is not CT toys?
Okay, that's
Then I was
quite
like, okay. Then after that, okay, then you see that the different comparison between the both, and they did lay out right very very nicely over here. Yeah, which I think is for me, I think that itself is just very funny.
imitation is the biggest form
Yeah.
of flattery. Yeah.
Okay, at least it shows that they know what they're doing.
Yeah.
True.
There's enough toys on their detail to make them. So who wins? The customer wins.
Customer. Yeah. Obviously.
So we win either way.
I mean, end of the day, that should be us that wins end of the day. But of course, I mean,
That's right.
in terms of like leaving gaps in the market, cause end of the day, I think brands itself, I think should regulate their action figures, and like cause at the end of the day, they know they should know that their figures are gonna go very expensive as at the aftermarket itself. So I think brands should take that into notice. I feel, in terms of like just regulating so that it doesn't go overboard. Because I collect toys for quite some time. I know Mafex doesn't do this, balancing act. Revoltech, they do it, so it's like if it gets too high, I will release it so that the aftermarket gets a bit lower, it's not as expensive. But Bandai has done it to a point where there's no point. You go aftermarket, buy one Ultraman, $180. Oh, once you hit $180, right, a few months later you announce like, oh, they are re-releasing it. I was like, there isn't much of a point to just buying from the aftermarket itself. But thanks for actually watching our podcast today. And yeah, if you guys got any ideas or any topics that you'd like us to discuss over the podcast itself, can always let us know. Give your comments down below. And also, if let's say also at the same time, if you have any of this kind of scam stories when it comes to toys itself, also let us know down below in the comments also. And yeah, we will answer as much as possible. And yes, and till then, like, subscribe, and also follow us on all our socials also. And I'll see you when I see you.
Subscribe, Bob's gonna find you.
Yeah, that's the thing about that.